The Supreme Court has, perhaps surprisingly, put the kibosh on efforts to stall the sentencing of Donald Trump in his hush money case. Now, this isn't the one that you're probably thinking of. This isn't one of the Donald Trump or his legal team efforts to stymie it. This is Missouri that got involved for like kind of a ridiculous reason, which we're gonna talk about. I wanna remind you all that a Manhattan jury did in fact convict Trump on 34 felony charges back in May, and a judge set the sentencing for September 18th of this year. Now, the immunity that our God, Emperor, President Kings now have could potentially still mess with this, but this isn't gonna mess with this. And let's get into what Missouri was going on about. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey, a Republican and ally of Trump, totally coincidentally, filed an unusual set of motions at the Supreme Court asking the justices to postpone the sentencing until after the November election and to lift the gag order the judge imposed in this case. So why? Well, Missouri claimed that the hush money prosecution violated the rights of the state's voters by preventing them from fully engaging with and hearing from a major party presidential candidate in the run-up to the November election. New York responded that Missouri's bid consisted of, quote, generalized and speculative grievances and was legally defective. I just want to stop to say, generalized and speculative grievances that are legally defective could literally be Donald Trump's bar trivia team. Like that just describes him to a T, so why shouldn't it describe this?
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
What are you talking about, Missouri? The fact that he could get sentenced means that they don't get, first of all, they still will get to vote for him. And many of them will because they don't care about the fact that he's a felon. That's already well established in Missouri and across America. And the gag order has basically nothing to do with the election. You just can't attack people involved in the trial. And if you're saying that your campaign for the presidency is contingent on being able to attack the family of a judge, that says so much more about you and your failings than it does about the Democrats or about the prosecution in this case. So I'm very glad that they knocked that down. I guess it wasn't guaranteed that it would actually happen. But anyway, they denied the request without explanation. And Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito indicated that they would have allowed Missouri to file a formal complaint with the high court, but would not grant other relief, according to the court. So I don't know how substantive that is, but you have to have an opportunity for Alito and Thomas, the two most purely ideological, activist, conservative judges on the court, to imply that they would have loved to have done something corrupt had they had the opportunity. Anyway, here's a response by Attorney General Andrew Bailey saying, it's disappointing that the Supreme Court refused to exercise its constitutional responsibility to resolve state versus state disputes. I will continue to prosecute a lawsuit against Kamala Harris, Joe Biden's DOJ, for coordinating the illicit prosecutions against President Trump. That last bit is important because it gives you an idea of how he thinks about things. He just believes whatever he sees on True Social. Kamala Harris has nothing to do with this. Joe Biden has nothing to do with this. By the way, you notice her name is first in this. How the hell is she in charge of this all of a sudden? She's not, he's not, it has nothing to do with it. Yeah, continue prosecuting your lawsuit. The Supreme Court already told you to kick rocks. Where exactly are you gonna go after that? The Galactic Court? Also, they refused to exercise their responsibility to resolve state versus state disputes. No, they didn't. They resolved it. Go away now. New York gets to continue with their sentencing. The matter is resolved, at least for now. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.